White goods on wheels. Boring, but dependable. That was the image of Toyota for a long time, but you could never say that about the Toyota CHR. Okay, I'm going to start off by saying that I really like this car. And I like that it looks different from everything else on the road. I like its front lights that swoop all the way back to the wheel arches. I like its rear end. I like that it sits down low. I even like it in this colour, which is a colour I don't think belongs on anything except maybe a Ferrari. So many great little design quirks in this car which I just love, like the doors that open up the top here and the small windows and this swooping line that goes all the way the whole length of the car where it meets these front lights that sit above the wheel arches and join up at the front. It's a quirky design and there's nothing else quite like it on the road, and I really like it. For all its great design and build quality, there is something that actually stood out to me the first time I laid eyes on this car, and it's just this little bit of weathered rubbery plastic just here. And there's another one on the other side as well. What's going on with that? The engine is a 1.2 litre 4-cylinder turbo outputting 85 kilowatts and 185 newton meters of torque. It gets you 6.5 litres per 100 kilometres and will get you to 100 k's per hour in 11.1 seconds. Now, none of those numbers are great, but it's a small SUV, it's very light, gets along really well around town. It's not quite as fast as the 1.5 litre you find in the Honda Civic, but it's faster than the 2 litre naturally aspirated Nissan Qashqai. The boot is not massive, it's 318 litres, you've probably got room for a golf bag, and for a couple having a weekend away, more than enough room. Tall people beware though, the number of times I've hit my head on this, ouch. The cool design extends to the interior as well, where we've got the dash kind of swooping out here and sticking out in the middle a bit. It's all sort of angled towards the driver. We've got some very cool climate control buttons here, which are a little bit different to the ones you find in regular cars in that they're switches and there's no dials or knobs. It's a very cool design. The center console screen is a nice big 8-inch unit. The only thing I don't like about it personally, and this is just me, I'm not mad about screens that sit on top of dashes. They look like iPads that have just been gaff taped on. That's just my opinion, but Toyota have done a pretty good job in integrating this one into the dashboard better than most. Unfortunately, no digital instrument cluster. We've got old school analog gauges and a center screen sitting in between them. I would have liked a digital cluster, but you can't have it all, I guess. One of the more interesting features of the center console here is the cup holders, in that they're nowhere near each other. I've got one here next to me and another one up the front there, and a little shelf that kind of your phone just sort of half rests on. And if you've got a cup there without a lid on and your phone falls down, it's going to end up getting a little bit wet. We've got leather seats up front here. They're very soft and supportive, and they're heated as well. No electric adjustment, but weirdly Toyota have given us one electric adjustment, and that is for lumbar support. That's the only electric adjustment you get for seating in this car. Seriously, Toyota, all or nothing on the electric adjustment. There's a little bit more room here in the back seat than I thought there'd be, but you know, it's a sportback SUV, so there isn't a huge amount of headroom. Knee room's actually better than I thought it would be, and I'm sitting behind my own seating position here, and I'm 190 centimetres tall. This would do okay for a short trip. We've got a couple of cup holders in the doors, there's no rear armrest, and a large bit of plastic here with the quite small windows here on the doors, which my kids say does obstruct their view of the outside world a bit. And when kids can't see out the window, things can quickly escalate.
Dad, I feel sick.
If you're a parent looking for a car for your child, then the CHR could be a good bet. I mean, it's Toyota, it's rock solid, it's reliable, doesn't cost a lot to service or run. It's not crazy powerful, it's subdued enough that they're not going to get into trouble. And they're not going to be afraid to be seen in public either. It's not an embarrassing car, it looks cool. Like most modern cars, there are a number of different drive modes available. We've got normal, eco and sport. They're not hugely different from each other. Sport maybe holds on to the gears a little bit longer. I say gears because there are none, it's a CVT. But to get in them and actually change modes, you need to go quite deep into the menus here on the center screen, and it takes a few button pushes, which is a little bit annoying and a bit hard to do when you're on the move, and you have to do it every time you start the car. It doesn't remember it. A button on the dash would be much easier. For $36,690, the Toyota CHR Koba does everything it says it will do on the label, and it does it very well. It's fuel efficient, it's well built, and it looks great. And if those are important to you, you can't go past the CHR.